Hello, everyone. It's Sibyl Star, and I'm here to give you the astrology forecast. Sorry, my camera was a little cattywampus there. Okay, so I'm giving you the astrology forecast for the Sagittarius New Moon that is coming up on December 12th. But first, I want to talk just a little bit about where we have been traveling, which is some very challenging and difficult times, with this Scorpio new moon. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and they're very much a purification process, an alchemical purification process that really takes us through like a roto-rooter, really cleaning things out. And, Pluto is traveling through the last degrees of Capricorn. And whenever it's the last degrees, it's like it's time to get it right, do the deepest healing that you can, get in there and root out the corruption, the old stuff. And what we're releasing is an old paradigm. And to do that, we have to release our old stories that are related to that old paradigm, old emotional patterns. We are shedding our skin as part of this purification process so that we can hold more light that is coming in and these higher frequency vibrations, so that when we're resonating with them is when we can hold them. Okay. And so December is, I feel like, we've been through the dark tunnel for a while, and now it's time to start expanding again and being able to really take in that light. I feel like the message of the Sagittarius new moon is really one of hope and inspiration and optimism. Okay. And they could coexist, being in the midst of difficult times while being able to hold a faith in the future and that the beneficence of the universe. Okay. Alrighty. So we also have 5 planets in multiple signs. 5 planets in mutable signs. And mutable signs are the ones that change and adapt. We've got 3 planets in Sagittarius and 2 planets in Pisces, and they're mutable signs. All right. And like I said, they're about change and adaptation. All right, now let's look at the chart for this Sagittarius new moon. It occurs at 3:33 p.m. On December 12th at 20 degrees 40 minutes. Now mine says 3:32 p.m. I think I've shared this before. The computer in my software is a little bit off of my ephemeris in the book that I have. So anyway, it's sometimes it's exactly right on, sometimes there's a minute difference. So just know that it's in there somewhere between 3:32 and 3:33 p.m. All right, so here is the actual chart. We have the sun and the moon are here at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. It is conjunct Mars, and Mars is conjunct Ceres. So we actually have 4 points in Sagittarius. Okay. And this new moon is in a square here to Neptune. And a square is a challenge. And it's also in what's called an inconjunct to Uranus, which once again is something that indicates a need to adjust, a need for an adaptation in some way. We also have what have we got here? Jupiter, which is the ruler of this Sagittarius new moon, is in Taurus, where it's been traveling. This new moon is opposite Venus and trine Mercury. Okay, and trine Mercury. It's actually even sextile Saturn. So it's also very, very active. Okay, so the question is, of course, what does all of that mean? Okay, so, all right. And there we go. All right, so anyway, so what does all of this mean? So what is Sagittarius? What is the energy of Sagittarius? We have 4 points in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ultimately about the quest for the meaning of life. Sagittarius is a seeker, he's an explorer of consciousness. And like I said, looking for the truth. And Sagittarius realizes is actually the journey, not the destination, that really matters, and how we grow up on the journey, how we grow and expand. Okay, it is the symbol of the archer who is shooting his arrow and hitting his mark. And I just recently came to become aware that his mark is actually that of prophecy. Sagittarius is aligned with prophecy, and many who have Sagittarius strong in their charts have the may be a seer or a prophet. Okay, Sagittarius is very much about the faith and the beneficence of the universe. It is very optimistic. Sagittarius expands our horizons and allows us to see the bigger picture. One of the challenges of a Sagittarius is learning tolerance. It is about this expansion of consciousness and all the different ways that it happens, whether it's through, cross-cultural experiences, whether it's through theology, philosophy, shamanic journeying, all the different and adventure, climbing mountains. Many of those who have Sagittarius energy is kind of compels us to seek God wherever we can. And so it also comes to ask us to have tolerance for everyone else's experience as well, because Sagittarius and its ruler Jupiter also have a lot to do with our belief systems. So the hope is that our belief systems will grow and expand and be able to hold pieces of many different ways of viewing the world. Okay, the shadow side of Sagittarius is fundamentalism. There is a belief that we have found the truth, and this is the truth for everyone, and can be self-righteous and have a lack of focus. All right, now this new moon is conjunct the fixed star called Ras Al-Hag in Ophiuchus. Okay, and some consider Ophiuchus to be the 13th star. I'm going to share with you an image of Ophiuchus. Okay, just learned how to pronounce it too. When you don't say it out loud, you just read it, you kind of think it's one way, but find out it's another. Okay, so here he is. Here's Ophiuchus, and he is the constellation of serpents. The snake runs through this constellation of Ophiuchus. So they have who this actually is the demigod Asclepius. He was half mortal, half immortal, and he was trained by Chiron in all of the ways. Who was trained by Apollo in medicine and healing. And it is, of course, the staff of Asclepius that the staff with the one serpent is really the symbol for medicine. Okay, and so Asclepius here has a lot to do with healing when we see it in a chart, and we're certainly in times as well where their deep healing is happening. It's happening on a cosmic level, on a physical level, on a collective level. Healing is happening, and snake medicine goes deep. It can be considered a poison, so you have to be very careful how you use it. Okay, but it is very much of a deep medicine. Now, Asclepius in Greece had what were called dream healing temples, and people would go to go to these dream healing temples to have a healing dream. And how it would work, you know, people would come and they would have to go through a whole purification process, just like we have been going through ourselves, this deep purification process, and to make themselves ready to be able to lie in this temple and ask for this dream, whatever the dream had to do with whatever they were seeking healing on. And they would know it was the healing dream if the priest also had the same dream. And it could be anything like, you know, take this herb, go bathe in this water, or maybe you have offended this god or that god, or you're not treating your mother-in-law right. Anyway, that's why things aren't going well for you on some level. So anyway, they would come out of that healing dream knowing what the problem was and knowing how to deal with it. And of course, as I showed you in our chart, we have Neptune square this new moon, and Neptune is so much about healing and healing and dreams. You know, Neptune brings in the dreams, so we might have an activation of dream healing temples for some of us. And if you're really interested in doing something like that during this time, there's places online you can read about that help you kind of set your space to be able to have a healing dream. Okay. All right. Now the next thing, this and of course it's also healing the you know, the indigenous elders say that, you know, we are dreaming this world into being, and we've been dreaming the wrong dream. So maybe as a collective we need a healing dream. And so that's what this is about as well, not just personally, but maybe some really profound messages coming through our dreams. So paying very close attention to them. Okay. Now, this new moon is also getting close to the galactic center. Now, the galactic center of the Milky Way is at 27 degrees, 17 minutes of Sagittarius, but we give it a very wide orb of influence, like 10 degrees on either side, because it's one of the most powerful, it is the most powerful place in our whole zodiac. And every year the sun comes over this. It's going to be exact, I believe, in the early morning of, I think it's exact on the 19th, okay, on December 19th. But anyway, so I want to show you this image of well, actually, I'm sitting in front of an image of the Galactic Center. This was one taken by NASA. Okay. And so, but I wanted to show you a very creative rendition of this. Okay. Let's see if I can find it here for you. Having kind of a hard time figuring this out here. Oh, here we go. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. This is a very creative rendition. Someone, and I really like this because it's an art. This isn't a photo. I like the way it kind of is like at the center, and you can kind of see the whirlpool energy and it going out the other side. Now, you know, they say that this is a black hole, and what a black hole is, we've come to understand, is a dying star. And it is a star that all of its mass is coming together to create this point of matter called the singularity that then ruptures the veil into other realities. But you know what, the star nation, and I believe that to be true from our understanding, but it's also a portal to other universes. You know, the Arcturians say that the galactic center is it is what is called the great central sun. And this is the prime creator. This is the source of all creation. So the galactic center puts us in direct alignment with the great central sun and the source of all creation. And they also say that all suns, and all suns are stars, all stars are gateways to this source energy. We can enter it through our own sun, even if we're not aligned with the galactic center like we are right now. And it also says to me in astrology, we have a sun. Where the sun was when we were born is our connection to the great central sun, to the source of all creation. Is where we are aligned with creator and our higher self. Okay. Now, there's also something else going on that is just super interesting. And I don't know if you can see that, so I'll show you in just a minute. And that is, there are some powerful cosmic rays are entering the Earth's atmosphere that science has been unable to explain. And so I want to show you an image here of one of them. Okay. It's very powerful. All right. So this image occurred. I don't know if you can see it here. How well you can see it. Anyway, this image occurred on, well, first let me say what this is. This is actually an artistic representation of what they saw in the telescope, or in the what they were looking through to see this. I guess it wasn't really a telescope, whatever it was, a piece of equipment they were using. They didn't take a photo, but this is what they said it looked like. Okay. And, scientists are seeking to understand the enigmatic origins of these powerful cosmic rays they have detected. And in them, they have detected an extremely rare ultra high energy particle that they believe traveled to Earth from beyond the Milky Way Galaxy. And like I said, this happened on May 27, 2021 in Utah. And they have, yes, an artist illustration of the extremely energetic cosmic ray served by the telescope array collaboration led by the University of Utah and the University of Tokyo. That's where it was. And it occurred on May 27, 2021 over Utah. And it's been named the Amaterasu particle. And for those of you who know who she is Amaterasu is the great sun goddess of Japan. Okay, so they're calling this the sun goddess particle. Amaterasu is the great and glorious goddess of the sun. She is an embodiment of the rising sun and the ruler of the universe. The Japanese imperial family claim to have descended from her, and this is what gives them the divine right to rule Japan. This is what they say. She is the center of Shinto and Japanese spiritual life. And now there's something else going on, and they say this is just one. They say the second most powerful one they've seen, but these are happening fairly. I don't know how often. There have been more than one. Put it that way. And there is another woman, I believe, I can't remember her name, Nancy, Grace, or Rebecca. Anyway, she has been getting guidance from her star being guides, who she says are from Sirius, about the blue light that is coming in. And you can see this is blue light coming in. Okay. And to me, the blue light, especially the blue white light, which is what I see when I call in the blue light, is the mother. This is the divine mother, is what I was told. And it is the unconditional love of the mother coming from the source of all creation, and brings with it the vibration of love and peace, both. Blue is kind of a color of inner serenity and peace. Yeah. So anyway, so there's a little more I want to say about this. Okay. Oh, right. What I want to share now is a transmission that came from the Pleiadians. Now, I'm not sure when this was received. That wasn't clear. But I saw it when the sun, the transiting sun, was opposite the actual Pleiades. Okay, and so this is, and I'll be quoting this message a little bit throughout this whole reading, because I feel like it's so relevant and so important with all of this light coming in. Cosmic rays are coming onto the planet so that a change is being broadcast and a reordering is taking place inside the body. The scattered data that holds the history and awareness of the living library is now lining up. The DNA is evolving. New helixes or strands are being formed as the light-encoded filaments are beginning to bundle themselves together. The scattered data is being pulled together in your body by electromagnetic energies from Prime Creator. This was a Pleiadian transmission from Barbara Marciniak. Many of you are familiar with her. She's been channeling the Pleiadians for a very long time. And you know, they say it is the Pleiadians that will be making first contact with a large number of people. They're coming through very strongly right now, okay, as this light is coming in. And then I heard another really super great analogy of all this light coming in and what it's about, or of how to manage it. The analogy of going from a 110 voltage to a 210 voltage, that the light that is coming in is coming in like a 220 into our 110 system. Okay, the goal is ultimately for us to all be 220. Okay, because it will be integrated. Okay, but we need a transformer to not blow out the whole system, to kind of step it down and help us integrate it and ground this energy. We are at a place where we are at the intersection of a 5D and a 3D reality. The fifth dimensional frequencies are what is coming in and into our 3D reality, and there is an intersection. They are, and they are, needless to say, you know, it's not always an easy, it takes a big adjustment. Okay, it's an adjustment in our energy field and ways that we can transform this energy into something that is usable, and we can integrate it and ultimately all become a 5D reality, which is the goal. Okay, and they say that it is the guardians of light that are anchoring in this new reality, and I can certainly feel it. I can certainly feel the places where I'm in a 3D reality and when I'm in a fifth dimensional reality, because fifth dimensional reality is so much about living from the heart. Okay, when we're living from the heart in the present moment, and experiencing our lives, rather than having regrets of the past or anxiety for the future. But when we're in that present moment, okay, that is the new reality. And what's happening is the activation of the light codes within our DNA. Now, there are some who say, who talk about, the new human that we are in the process of becoming. And some call it Homo Luminous, and some call it Homo Omega. The Arcturians call it Homo Omega. There are others who call it Homo Luminous, which I actually like that term a lot. So it is about being new humans with an activation of our light bodies. It is moving into a fifth dimensional reality with a fourth density body, which simply means there is more light. Okay, we still have a body, but it's more light. It is a vibration, and it is happening. Okay, and so the key is for us to hold it and anchor this in, hold in this vibration. And so the key is how do you do that, as it is coming in? Well, we know everything is about vibration and frequency now, everything. And so it is the vibration, the frequency of your thoughts, of your words, of the, what you put out into the field, the music you listen to, the books you read, the people you align with, the food you eat. It really is about choosing to be uplifted and uplift others, even in the midst of challenges. And it's not like we're not going to have challenges. We are. It's just, how do we navigate them? How to be, because we're really navigating, two realities, this 3D reality and the 5D reality. Okay. And just one more piece about the Galactic Center. It is also conjunct another very powerful fixed star, which is called Itamin, and it is from Draco, and it is the Eye of the Dragon. The Eye of the Dragon is aligned with the Great Central Sun, and the dragons are known to be guardians of the galaxy. And I feel like they are just showing up so strongly now in so many people's lives, even in my own. It's like, really? Yeah, they're just coming in, and I feel like they're here to help us with this shift in consciousness. Okay. There are beings from all over the universe here to help us make this shift because it's so important for growing the greater reality. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about the inconjunct with Uranus. An inconjunct, or also can be called a quincunx. It's 150 degrees. It's not exactly opposite, and it's not an easy flow of a trine. It's not the challenge of a square, and yet it's two things that just don't, they have to work together, but they're just kind of missing each other. Okay. And so what they can do to connect, okay, and to actually work together. But also, it's also sometimes described like having a pebble in your shoe. There's something that's just kind of wrong there, but just it's not bad enough to totally impede you, but it gets your attention. All right. So anyway, here is a little bit more from the Pleiadians. And it says, those of you who are the guardians of light, who wish to completely change this present reality and bring different options, are anchoring the frequency. What I should have said was, Uranus brings change. So this is really about change. Uranus brings chaos, and as part of the new birth. We know that the new is born as the old is breaking down in the chaos of the old. Okay. So anyway, let me read that again, because there's more though. Those of you who are guardians of light and who wish to completely change this present reality and bring different options are anchoring the frequency. If it is not anchored and understood, it can create chaos. It will create chaos. That's why you must ground yourselves. Okay. Chaos brings about a state of reorganization when utilized properly. So we know the chaos is coming. It's here. And so a part of this, I feel like what we're being guided to do, because Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus so much is about being calm. It's about being calm and connected with your center, being in the present moment. It is very much about being grounded to Mother Earth, being in nature, hugging trees, because it's like having lightning come through us. And so how we ground that is with Mother Earth. Okay. Feed on Mother Earth allows excess energy to go directly into her. Okay. Also, eating foods, that grounding foods during this time can be very significant. Chocolate is one of them. That's the good news. Chocolate's very grounding. All right. Getting adequate rest, although with the increased electromagnetic energy, it might be difficult to be aware. It might be difficult to do that. Okay. So, because you may feel like you're plugged into an electrical socket. Something else that helps, though, are salt baths may stabilize the electromagnetic field. Okay. And here's another quote from the Pleiadians. Due to the increased amounts of light entering, the collapse of your society is inevitable. It does not hold light. It does not hold the multidimensional possibilities of the world we are creating. Okay. And so, we can see it happening. We are living in two realities, one that is crumbling and one that is being born. It's like, where do you want to focus your energy? Yes, we have to tend to matters in 3D, especially, our body, our homes, all of these things that support our process, and know that the old paradigm is changing. Okay. Pleiadians go on to say, you are all pulling light, which is data and information, onto the planet. And as you do this, you create new pathways of consciousness to explore without even saying a word. The new pathways of consciousness create new realities, new options, and new ways of living and being. Yes, we have known everything is changing, but we haven't really known the solutions. But I feel like what is coming in is an understanding of how to use the free energy. okay, because it is here on the planet. And many people say we already have the technology. It's just, the government won't let the patents be used. But even more information, I believe, is coming in. The field is rich with new ideas, and many are catching them. Okay. Now, as I said, we also have, the sun square Neptune in Pisces, as well as the fixed star Ras Al Hag. And first off, Neptune has just gone direct. In the fall, we had many planets retrograde. Energy was all backed up, and bit by bit, they're starting to go forward. Well, Neptune goes direct on December 6th, so we'll have just gone direct. And you know, when Neptune is retrograde, the potential to the illusionary aspect of Neptune, I'm going to say, is much stronger. When Neptune goes, when Neptune is retrograde, the illusionary aspect of Neptune is stronger. When Neptune goes direct, I think it really feeds our creativity, and it can be a time of illumination, okay, where we increasingly see the light, and where we have more faith in our dreams and our visions and our belief systems, okay? And I feel like with well, first, I want to just go back to the dreams, because Neptune and Pisces are both related to dreams. And we talked about having the powerful dreams there with the dream healing temple and changing our collective dream. I feel like this is part of it. And as what it does, I feel like Neptune is going to be an aspect to the great central sun for another year in a square to it. And I feel like the light of the great central sun is helping us see through our illusions, and especially the illusion that we are separate from source, and that it is time to awaken from the dream we have been living of believing that we were separate in source, and remembering who we are. I feel like this is a big part of this process as we wake up to our own divinity and remember who we are, and that we have never left the source of all creation. We have never been alone out here on this little rock floating around. We're part of something greater than ourselves. And we're going to and as we remember that, as we awaken, the dream will change. Okay. But to also know that part of the 3D experience was to go to sleep. But we are now evolving, and as we evolve, we are awakening. Okay. I love this. Well, number one, we are a holographic fragmentation of the whole in a prism of light. I feel like that is important to say. But this is also something that's been going around on the internet that has been attributed to Einstein. And I think he meant this, but this isn't exactly what he said. But this is a poetic version of it. We are slowed down sound and light waves, a walking bundle of frequencies tuned into the cosmos. We are souls dressed up in sacred biochemical garments, and our bodies are the instrument through which our souls play their music. We're so much more than we have ever believed ourselves to be, and we're shedding those false beliefs. Okay. And of course, Neptune is related to the divine heart. It's called the divine heart, the unconditional love of the universe. It's about tuning into the frequency of love. When we are in a state of love, which is a state of being, not an emotion, the frequency of love vibrates all through us, spreading in all directions, flowing throughout the entirety of the cosmos. That's why the universe is here to help us. So many are here to help us make this shift. And of course, Neptune brings in unity consciousness, that we are part of something greater than ourselves, and that something is love. And Neptune is very much about compassion. They say compassion is the highest form of love, to be able to keep our hearts open through the suffering, and compassion for ourselves and others, because it is through our heart that we will create this new world, this fifth dimensional reality. And I also want to say, with this Neptune square the sun for this new moon, the world of magical beings may also be illuminated. The fairies, elves, mer people, they're all fifth dimensional beings, fourth and fifth dimensional beings. This is where we meet them. Okay. It might be initially difficult for you to believe what you're seeing, and yet it's true. Okay. All right. Neptune is sextile Pluto. And I feel like Pluto is the transformer of this energy, okay, of where we're coming down in this voltage, and we're bringing this 220 voltage into our 120 systems. And Pluto is the transformer. And Pluto says to let go of what no longer serves you, let go of old grudges, old hurts, old anger, old patterns. It is how we're able to anchor in the new vibration. As I talked about earlier, it is the roto-rooter of the energetic cleaner. And I feel like when Pluto comes into Aquarius, is because Aquarius is so much about electrical energy, it's going to become even stronger. It's Pluto will be the transformer of the electrical energy coming in by letting go of all of this stuff, and then forgiveness. You know, forgiveness is really what is the great transformer. Forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others. It is the alchemical process of what is true, bringing us to what is true and authentic, and that what is really important is love and nothing else. That's really all there is. I was told in a journey that I had by the Divine Mother, she said to me, open your heart to love. Love heals everything. And as I did, I felt this bittersweet sensation of sadness leaving my heart while it opened to complete bliss. And so, yes, we have to feel it. We have to keep our hearts open. And so here's a great affirmation. And it's a really beautiful song. I heard it today and I thought, this is just great. And it says, I release control and surrender to the love that will heal me, because that is what will heal us. All right. All right. This new moon is also conjunct Mars in Sagittarius and trine the North Node in Aries. So this brings in Sagittarius as the explorer of consciousness and Aries as the pioneer. We're traveling some uncharted territory. We need some courage, and we need to be able to trust ourselves, to believe there is a new way forward, and to trust our inner guidance while we let go of these old paradigms. Okay. All right. Now, one more thing to talk about, and that is Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. And at this new moon, Jupiter is opposite Venus, trine Mercury, and sextile Saturn. So it's got a whole other configuration going on, but it's all beautiful aspects. Okay. And we also have 4 planets in Earth signs. So Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto. Okay. And so I feel like, of course, it was just can't say it enough to anchor this energy into our bodies and Mother Earth, and that there will be some practical solutions available. Okay. Jupiter opposite Venus, well, they're the 2 great benefics. You know, they bring blessings. And so it brings with it a heightened sense of love and beauty. And it also brings with it abundance, prosperity, and gratitude. There might even be some type of a gift or inheritance coming through at this time. Okay. Okay. It brings inner peace and serenity even in the midst of this busy season, to make sure and connect with the inner serenity, with the peace and serenity that lies within. It is what will sustain you and help you through these busy times. And to be like the tree anchored in the midst of the storm. It doesn't mean that life is peaceful, but that you are at peace with yourself. And that's what matters. And that's how we create peace in the world, by being at peace with ourselves. Okay. And that, of course, is the other reason for the healing and the purification, so that we can be at peace with ourselves. Of course, it tells us also to stay in the present moment as much as possible, but that is when our connection to source is the strongest, and when we can listen to this guidance from our higher self. It tells us also to listen to our bodies, because our bodies are going to tell us what is true and what is not true. Now, Jupiter trine Mercury, A trine is an easy flow. That's another beautiful aspect. It can help us, and Jupiter is, like I said, it brings opportunity, brings blessings, and Mercury is god of the mind. So it can help us create a connection of love and rapport with others. We can have our Christmas celebrations and find common ground. What is the true and the beautiful, and what is real? Okay, not all the drama going on in the outer world. What's going on in your inner world? Okay, and it's about speaking from the heart, telling people you love them. Okay, it's so important. Mercury trine Jupiter says elevate your thoughts. Here's a teaching from White Eagle, and it says, if you train yourselves to think positively of good, to see good and believe in good, you are serving the whole of creation. You are raising the life of consciousness of all creation. Your little contribution to the whole is of enormous importance. It's very important to elevate your thoughts. If you find yourself sinking back into that old story, just kind of, say, stop, look up in the sky and say, elevate my thoughts. Okay. And it will take you out of that place. Okay. All right. Mercury, of course, is in Capricorn. And so, which is, very grounded, very realistic, very practical. And he's getting ready to go retrograde. He's going to go retrograde on the 12th or 13th, December 12th or 13th, depending on where you are. And retrograde times are a time of listening. And I feel like trine Jupiter and Taurus, it tells us to listen to nature. We live in a speaking world. We just need to slow down enough to hear the magic of nature. And it also may inspire us of a generosity of spirit to do something that makes a real difference in the world. And during this holiday season, or holy day season, it's the holy days for so many people, okay, here in December, to find something within you that makes a real difference in the world. And then with Mercury and Capricorn, it asks us, how do we make this real and permanent? Okay. Jupiter is also sextile Saturn and Pisces, which is, to me, is about the spiritual discipline for meditation and going to the stillness within. Saturn, as ruler of Mercury and Capricorn, says to still your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. And to remember that. And it is in the stillness when we can hear the small voice from within, the truth of our being that rests in our heart. Everything says to slow down and listen. And I know we're in the hustle bustle of the holiday season, but it's so important to come to that still point within for that rejuvenation and that guidance. Okay. All right. The Sabian symbol for this new moon is a child and a dog with borrowed glasses. So this tells me it's about gaining a new perspective, seeing the world with new eyes. It's about imagination and the importance in receiving guidance to allow ourselves to imagine the world of light and what our light can look like. We often create in the virtual realm before we create in the physical realm. Okay. All right. So as we evolve, we begin to understand how to create a world that aligns with who we are becoming. Once we make the decision to create this world, the universe will conspire to make it happen. They're here to help us. And I love this quote from Arundhati Roy. She says, "A new world is coming, and on a quiet day, I can hear her breathing." Well, I feel like she is here, and we will know her as we awaken to this new reality and remember our true selves. And so it is. I wish everyone bright solstice blessings in this holiest of months. All right. Blessings to all and namaste.